Here's the last faucet I connected, and we're in good working order. I cut and have repaired water hose that goes to each one of the individual azaleas we planted over here. As you can see, that's going to be one half of my watering scheme here. The other half is a hose that I have a repair end for here that goes up the line of the yard and waters all these. I've got to again remove the dead ones. I have not done so yet, the arbor vitae, and I'm watering the tea olives up here as well. So that's what I'm doing today. I have a wide band that I did with the rotary tiller of wildflowers here if the grass doesn't overtake them. But I was going to show you how I water my plants. So I've set up my watering system. If you look at the base of each plant here, underneath the mulch, I have a water hose. I had some galvanized metal wire or steel wire that I made staples from to staple the water hose so it wouldn't shuffle around. And I have a 1/16 inch hole drilled in the water hose here, and the hose is capped on the end, so I cover that up. Now the reason I cover it up is so the water's not spraying in the air. When water comes from the pipe, it actually just settles down into the roots where the plant really needs it. And here from another angle you can see I buried my hose between these plants, and I have it installed the identical way in the other two plants. My hydrangea, and I forget the names of these little spiky plants here. And the dirt was still soft from tilling, so I just dug and I buried the hose in between, like I say, and it runs over into the edge of the woods. And back here behind the hollies, it's kind of concealed, but I didn't want it running across the flower bed. I'll be watering that with a sprinkler. My camellias here, same thing. Water hose is buried in mulch underneath, stapled in place with the galvanized steel staples I made from the wire. I buried the hose, not really that deeply in a lot of places, and I've got it in each one of these mulched areas underneath the plant. Here is my setup here so far as my watering timer. Zone 1 is the camellias, the ones I just showed you. The first plant's the hydrangea on the top of the hill there, and the other two plants are running from the right side. This is Zone 1, Zone 2. This is the timer I have, and I actually got a Y fitting and a elbow fitting here, actually a 45 fitting in the hose section at the hardware store, so that I can hook the other hose here if I do manually need to set up the sprinkler for this wildflower bed, because I didn't want to put this on a timer. I wanted to just let it kind of grow as it would wild and not waste so much water on it. But the other trees need to be watered at least every other day, so that's what I'm going to be doing with this timing system. And so far it's worked out well. I'm actually going to water them early in the morning. Some tools of the trade: a shovel, a rake, and implements of destruction. Cordless drill, I've got some fittings, and more than this in another bag. Screwdriver, these are the wickets I made from steel wire. It was just a roll of galvanized clothesline wire, actually, and I cut them off with bolt cutters and bent them into these shapes. This is what holds my hose down inside the mulched areas underneath the plants. And of course my gloves, gotta keep my hands soft. And there's almost forgot a hammer. So we have a little poison ivy over here next to the fence I need to take care of. That popped up from nowhere overnight. Here's the watering timer I'm using. This was on Amazon, $36, around 36 bucks, which is about average price for one of these automatic watering systems everywhere I looked. So we'll see if it's any good after a while, I guess. But and that's exactly what I'll be doing here. Behind the tea olives, which are doing great this year, by the way. And I have temporarily planted a cryptomeria up here on the end. It'll be easy to bury the hose where I want it up here because I've got a long mulch bed to put it in. And then staple it down, drill the holes, set the timer, we're good to go.